and come out like, they are ready to go and explore. All those little girls you are saying, doing 15, all of them, they know the value of this thing we are talking about. They go cultivate values. And then ready to go and subdue any other person, any other system. Because of the supremacy of the spirit and the mind that they have cultivated in those 3 days every month. So the greatest resource you have, never think of money, because that's the problem of all of us. I don't have money. Those are money and finances, all those things. What are those things? External resource factors or internal factors? With what Jesus said, what people drink, are they external? And what did Jesus say? What are the factors that really determine who you are? Are they the external or internal?
Internal.
So if I don't have money, can I still make it?
Yes. Sure.
Wow. Yes.
Okay, what about if I don't have help? Because some people complain, oh, I just came to America, or I just came to that place, I don't know anybody, nobody knew me, and something. But what about if you carry values inside? If you have internal wealth, do you think I knew anybody when I came here? You think I had money when I came here? But I was loaded! I just need to talk. Because when I begin to speak, people begin to discover that we've never had this before. Where did I get that from? Was I born with them? No. I was born empty just like you. I need to fill myself with something. But when I began to speak, the people who were calling me goat and said, a little monkey and all those things yesterday, they go, this thing is coming from this mouth. They begin to come and sit down. Now they begin to say, okay, we'll carry your bag, just speak more. Because it depends on the amount of value you have cultivated, developing yourself. But for me to be able to say with conviction and with direction, to be able to know how to say, when to say it, how to say it, to be able to know, to be able to feel the mind of other people, and to be able to, I need to be in the presence of God. So that I will have his own illumination. So that I will have his own direction. So that I will have the edge that ordinary men cannot have. And so that when I need it, his miracle will come out from me after I've done my best. So your greatest resource is you. Let's just take that and forget about other reasons, external reasons. Let's assume we don't have money, we don't have people, we don't know anybody, just me. But I must develop myself to be relevant. If I have empty head, it's empty, they will just use me and I will become slave, they will just throw me outside, I will just be useless. But if I've worked on myself, I carry something, I will be needed everywhere. But apart from me, look at this thing, myself I'm a resource. Even in the assignment and all the things that were already here, the task, in the task, I also have a resource. Who can tell me what is another resource I can find here as a person? What are the other resources I can find in this thing? Time is a resource. Brilliant. How did you know that?
That's the only way.
No, how do you know that?
Because it's available to you. You don't have to buy it, you just have to make use of it.
Brilliant! Because time is always available. But what is the time that is available now? 1 year. Is that a resource? Why? How can you convert that to a resource? Yes. Make an example. How can I convert that 1 year?
By breaking that 1 year down into tasks that must be accomplished.
No, it's not 1 year you break. What do you break?
Days, hours, minutes, that's it.
You break the task and use the time to divide the task. That is when it becomes, it might be a resource in theory, but I convert it into strength, into energy, into advantage to me when I can use it to resolve. It's a resource when it will help me to resolve my task. You getting it now? Yeah. So the resource is only the thing that will help you to resolve the task ahead of you. So my time that I have, if it's 1 year, I must find a way to use it to resolve the task ahead of me. So I take that 1 year and I divide the task. I see if it will help me to divide it, and it breaks it down for you. But is it one that what is the figure in 1 year that I need? 1 or 12 or 52 or 365? 365. Why 365? Because I need a planning. I need to be able to grasp my task that I do. If I just put 12, for example, it will be in a month. I will not be able to measure that. A day is easier to measure than, just say, oh, a month I will reach how many people in a month. That's abstract. But in a day, I will be able to measure myself and my strength. Are you getting it?
Yeah. Yeah, the comment I want to make is time is a resource.
Yes.
To the extent that you're going to choose to put it to that task as compared to other competitive things that can steal away your time. I think it's important to grasp that idea.
That is good. It's not only the person that knows the value of time. That's why you defend time. That's why you fight for time. So wise people know. I want you to write this quotation down. The person that trembles, fighting for every minute of his life, is the freest of men. The person that trembles, fighting for every minute of his life, is the freest of men. Is that too deep for you to comprehend? Huh? Okay, tell me what that means. Who could tell me what that means? Explain that to me.
It means that you're not mastered by the things around you or time. You're mastering your time, therefore that dictates your freedom.
No, just explain the statement.
You're free because you're in control of your time.
And you are only free as much to the extent that you are able to control your time. But you are the freest is the one that is not just able to control hours in his life, of his time, or days of his time, but that is gone to the detail of being able to control each minute of his life. That is the champion in life. That is the freest of all men. Somebody wants to comment on that too? No?
Is it like walking out to salvation with fear and trembling?
No, not that. Totally different, totally off.
Because of the word tremble, I would say the person that is fears wasting his time.
Brilliant. It's so nice that you notice that word tremble. Brilliant. Brilliant. He's not just fighting for his time. He trembles over it. He cannot afford, tremble is when you are shaking, when you are just afraid of even losing it. You are just, you cannot just afford to even think about even losing that one. My God, my God.
You got so many things fighting for.
Oh!
Time. Yeah. So many
Go ahead.
distractions, or so many systems that we talk about in fighting for your time before that minute.
So you must be wise enough to fight for time. That is why he says that teach us to number our days. Give us what does he say? A wise
Heart of wisdom.
Give us a discerning heart, or
A heart of wisdom.
Heart of wisdom. Yes. Give us a heart of wisdom, so that we might number our days. So only the wise man, only the person of wisdom can fight for it. It's not just the freest of men, it's the wisest of men.
I noticed in the film we watched, The Pursuit of
Yes,
Happiness.
the film you watched, yes.
Yeah. I was always impressed because, let me call him the hero. The hero always said, thank you for your time. He would struggle a lot, but when you get an opportunity to meet Mr. Twist, even if it's for 2 seconds, you don't need to brush him off. You always say, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
And I think he values that.
I'm very interested because you tell me if I am freest and I control all my minutes,
Yes,
I'm sure for my results,
yes.
I control my future.
Yes, very good, very
Oh.
good, very good, very good. Control your minutes, then you control your results and your future. Very good. Yes.
Tim Hortons in Canada made a decision to not use debit cards in their drive-through because it took an extra second to swipe, then for it to process, so they demand cash. At first everyone thought it was inconvenient, but actually just by saving that extra like 2 seconds, they made,
Much more money.
billion, yeah.
I would say also the value of time. When we were developing the app for the iPhone,
Yes.
we had a stipulation in the contract with our developers. If they passed a certain amount of time, we took 20% off.
Are you serious?
And it actually happened. It went maybe about a week or two, and we actually saved 20% because of the value of time.
Are you serious? If anybody, the more you go value time and minimize time, the stronger you are and the more control you have of the world around you. Because the freest of men is not just because it can, if defense is 1 minute, but it controls his life, then it means it controls the whole world around you. When you control your life, you are in control of the whole world. So nobody can wake up in the morning and just call you, and it's because, then you will be phoning, picking the phones. You don't have to, you pick the phone only when you want to pick the phone. Yes. You talk only when you want to talk. Yes. And you call, let them record their messages, let the missed call. Then you have the time, you return the missed call. You are the master of your life and your time.
I was just looking at that phrase, the freest of men, really meaning that slavery is actually losing total control of your time.
Slavery is the inability to control your own time.
Surrender your time.
Yes. So when it doesn't mean slavery, that's what I was talking about America. That people's time is controlled by the system. All the systems that are built to make you run like in a cycle, in a vicious circle. So that vicious cycle is your time that is controlled. When you are being driven by other people, that means you are a slave.
In support of that, in America they say doing time.
Doing time.
That's going to prison.
Marking time. Oh, marking time.
Marking time. So time is a great resource. One of the greatest resources you have, apart from yourself. So you don't need any other thing in life to succeed. The external factors are irrelevant. The external factors are supposed to emanate from the inner values and the internal factors. And the understanding and the attitude to time. They generate every other thing. So every other thing you need in life is supposed to come from these two things. So if there is nothing you like, if there is something you like, if there is something you don't have today, it is all because either you have not developed this or your eyes have not been opened to this. Everything you ever need today or tomorrow will come from these two. If they don't come from these two, if they come from outside factors, you will lose them sooner or later. Because anything you are given should be taken from you. So only the things that you give back to are yours. So all these things I've given you now, for example, all these teachings I'm giving you, you think they are yours? No, they are mine. You know when they will become yours? When you pay the price to go through them, to put them into practice, to make sure that they are yours, to repeat, to listen again, to try to practice them, when you put effort and energy into trying to know them and embed them into yourself, that's when they become yours.
Wow.
Just for you listening to them doesn't mean they are yours yet. Information. All right, the next step. The next thing that follows in building systems . So we have time now. So the next thing we do is that we divide the task by what?
Time.
By the time. Brilliant. So how much does that give us? If we divide 10,000 by 365, we're supposed to have 28 or 29. But that is if we are going to work every day. But let's say it's not, it's not possible. It's not, what is the word?
Visible.
It's not, it's not realistic. It's not visible. It's not feasible to do that. To be able to do, so let's say 5 days a week. If we take 5 days a week, that's from Monday to Friday, which is more feasible, right?
Yeah.
That will give us 34 people. So you have, that's 295 days divided by 10,000. That will give us 34. So it means almost 34, 33 something, but that's 34. So it means we will have 34 person to touch in a day. Is that clear?
Yeah.
34%. That is still a lot, isn't it?
Yes.
That is, you don't get it, biologist? Okay. I should repeat it.
This 295
295 is we just counted from Monday to Friday. Yeah. Without it. Just because it's not feasible to say we'll be able to work every day. So it's giving us some more. Some people will be able to work every day, but at least let's take just a week. Huh? We divide 290. We divide 10,000 by 295, giving us 34. Now after that, the next point is you must decide where you want to get the 10,000 people. Where will you find them? Let's say you live in the city of Houston, or you live in the city of Kiev, or Chicago. But the Chicago pastor had given us the answer yesterday. He went and identified, let's say, 10 areas of life, 10 major problems of your society. You must understand, let's say 10. 10 is a good number. 10 major areas. So where do we find the people? You can't just say Chicago. That is like abstract. That is like saying, 10,000 people, when will you get them? Well, forever. So you must have also specific location where you want to find the people. And the location preferably must be where the problems are. Identify the problem areas of your town, of your city, of your community. It could be the single lady, the single woman, the single parents, or what you call them. It could be the children without fathers, the orphans. It could be the shelters, or what you call them? Hostels, shelters. It could be schools. It could be hospitals. It could be just identify 10 problem areas. Yeah, where that you want to resolve. What are the issues you want to resolve? But then it doesn't have to be people. Maybe you are in business. Find 10 sports or 10 addresses, or maybe you are in whatever, in psychology or in medicine. Just identify 10 areas of your sphere. Are you getting it? Mm-hmm. Or some people might just want to identify maybe not problems, but maybe geographical locations. Maybe you want to take just 10 streets. Or maybe you want to divide the city into 10 areas. You understand what I'm saying? So you want to take 10 countries, anything, or 10, but it shouldn't be too large or too big that you cannot embrace it, you cannot get around it. So if you have 10, that is location. So we choose 10 locations or spheres of the problem, where the problems are. So what do we do with that 10? Who can tell me? We have 10 locations or 10 spheres of problem. What do we do with it?
34.
Brilliant! We divided 34 by 10. Who knows why we have to do that? Why do we have to do that?
So you know how many charge.
Yes, because that is what system. You remember I told you in the beginning when I was talking about system that it is because of systems that we study mathematics and physics. Because they help us to break things down into the smallest particles. You remember I was talking about that? Science, biology, chemistry, they help us to break it like in the laboratory. They help us to break into smallest particles so that we'll be able to identify the easiest way to be able to resolve the question. So if we divide 34 by 10, what does that give us? 3.4. Only 4. What does that mean? It means that, I only need to find 4 people in each sphere or in each location. Only 4. Now, tell me, what was our task in the beginning? 10,000. And 10,000 has been reduced to what? 4. Look what system does. How system works. You got it now? Now, the next thing to do, the guy is going to do it. I can tell. The guy is excited. He's going to go for it. Yes. That is the way to do it.
He's getting excited.
He's getting excited. Let's remove this. Let's go to number 6. The next one. This way. Speech. No, I just thought. The next point is now that you only have to reach 4 people, thanks to this is all head work, what you are doing so far. Before we mention the 6th point, let me tell you something. The ability to work out the system, what we are doing now, is 75% solution of every problem. We have not started going to resolve it yet. We have not started going to go to the addresses or do this. That is later. The ability just to sit down and do the mental work. That is why mental work is much more difficult than physical work. Just the ability to sit down and not rush and just calculate is 75% of the solution to any problem. Don't ever forget that, I beg you. It's just like this house we are in right now. How many of you know that before this house was put in place, before all the bricks were standing on each other, that this house was already built somewhere? Where was it built? In somebody's mind and in architectural drawings. In the drawings. So now tell me, what will you agree with me that the architectural work, the designs, is 75% of the work? Yes. Will you agree with me? Yes. Okay, which one is more important? The architectural work, the designs, where the rooms will be, what the electricity, the light and all those things, or just the bricklayers coming to put the brick in place? Which is more important? The architectural. Huh? Of course. If there is no architectural design, it's just like medicine. Or, if you don't, if the pharmacy, somebody has to come with a breakthrough or with a, what do you call it? With an invention that I've come up with a new capsule that will heal cancer. Yeah, okay. Then we have to, after the thing has been discovered in the lab and has been, everything has been calculated, it has been whatever, discovered, what is the word? The prototype has been done, the model has been created, yeah? Then, which one is more important? The one that has been done in the lab, that it has been tested, this thing can heal cancer and all that, or just going to build a factory so that does mass production. Is it the factory with mass production that's more important, or the lab work to discover the thing itself? The research is what is more important. Do you agree with me that work is 75% of the whole thing? Yes. Of course. That's why Jesus said, never rush to do anything in your life. If you want to build a city, sit down first. But you know, the way we build our own life is that we want to do something, we say, oh, God has given us a job, run. Jesus said, don't run, sit down. So never you rush to do anything first until you have the master plan. That's what he's trying to say. So the 75% is the master plan. So what we are giving you now, that's the master plan. Don't just go back to to your country and begin to run to do something. No. Sit down. Go and have 3 days with God, or your retreat. Make sure you get everything first. Make sure you understand the whole thing. Take the video again. Take the cassettes again. Listen very well. Do some more research. Get all the figures together. Do the calculative work. Put everything down, piece by piece. Write everything. Calculate everything. System is about calculations. Calculate everything to make sure that everything works together. Everything rhymes. Everything, that nothing conflicted. That 1 + 1 is 2. Everything will work out. And everything is just right on that. When you are sure with certainty, at least 3 times certainty that yes, these calculations is right, then you are ready to go now and begin to implement. The implementation is only 25%. Are you getting me now?
Pastor, what you're giving us here is priceless. And I'm glad that in the kingdom we can get these things for free. Because it's price. If you want to buy it, if it's a process you want to buy it in the industry, there is no amount of money you find to get this what you are getting.
I really appreciate that. I'm happy that at least you are grateful that you appreciate it. And if you notice my people you are listening to, they are all talking about systems. That's what we are trying to talk to them. So the next point is, because you are the only person we had, you didn't have anybody, and you need to get 4 people in a day, but 4 people is just in one sphere, in one area. But of course, in those areas we mentioned, shelter, you get more than 4 people now. Yeah. But still, let's just say 4. Every day you go, it's 4. But you have more people anyway, but let's just say 4. So, but because you are the only one, you are doing right now only calculations. What you have to begin with will be to begin with a team. Yes, form a team first. At least 10. Brilliant. Why 10? Brilliant. You can see that it's an experienced pastor. And not just a team, any amount of, at least 10. Why 10? He got it right. So that one person of your team will be responsible for one sphere, for each sphere. Are you all following?
Yes, sir.
So there's a team of 10. That's right. So which means those 10 people cover each one. And then you are the control, you are the monitor or supervision. You are the supervisor. You make sure you supervise all of them and give them the assignment, you allocate the assignment to them, you make sure that you teach them, you train them, give them how to do it. So the next point is, you must distribute assignments. Distribute assignments. You must distribute assignments. What does that mean? Like those 10 people in those spheres, you must not just say, okay, you go for shelters. No, you must give them instructions to give you the address. Find out how many shelters are in this community. Get the address of those places. Get permission. Go to talk to people. It must be detailed. Do we have it in the drawings? Do we have the drawings for them? In the paper. National ship there, W says monitor. Tell them about it. Bring out your green paper, the green brochure.
Block number 5, you will have table there. In block number 5, there is table. Only one table.
Block number 5, can you find it?
Yes.
You see, the way we did it today, what we call categories are the spheres. Spheres of problems, categories of problems you got, alright? Okay, the next one, classification. Like divorce, or what are the problems, alright? Can you see it?
Yes.
Then the next one, venues or addresses, where? Yeah. Then the next one, what are the dates? You got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, alright? Time. You must write, it will be detailed. You see the way we are writing it? If not, don't just say, well, you know, Stella, you go to that one, right? Just, you know, just come and just go, you know. Don't walk like that anymore. Let's become professional. Everything must be concrete, detailed, written down. So that you'll be able to follow and control. That is what makes it predictable. So you have control system. What telephone? What does that mean? It means that you control. If it needs to go there on Monday, the night before you already call him. You remember you're going. Then the morning, or just before he leaves home, you call him again. When he comes back, how was it? Then the next one, evaluation. How was the work? He has to evaluate what happened there. He has to write it down, a report. Then comments. What are the, you know, what? How many received Jesus or how many just, you know, he has to write a comment. Then backup system. So in case we are having one shelter, I mean we have 3 shelters in the area, but we say, okay, you go to one shelter, but to have a backup system, I'll put another person in another shelter, or another person to that same shelter, or you know something, or 3 shelters, just to have backup system, so that you know that if your goal is 10,000, even if it fails, even if it falls, you have so much backup system that you will still get your target.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Okay. Then, you know, my control system. You must control how people are doing, what they're doing, how they're, all that. So that is all for you to know that, remember, the goal we have is 10,000 in a year, and we broke it down in such a way that every day you are touching your goal. Every day you are eating, just eating a bit of the elephant. The way to eat elephant, to finish it, to finish a whole elephant, is to take a bite as a time. So you just eat it, 3-4 people a day, 4 people. You don't need to think about 10,000 even. Forget about 10,000, but just make sure that every day you take a bit off that 10,000. Every day you are doing the minimum. That's what planning is all about. Your life goal is supposed to be planned like that too. Your life goals. You must have a goal for 10 years at least. So those 10 years plans must now be break down into months, into weeks, and then into every day. So that every day your 10-year goals are broken down so much that you know the amount you are touching, the amount of work you are supposed to do every day. So you are doing it every day. So in the next 10 years you discover you are there already. That is how to build plans. So when I say make plans for every day, I'm not saying, oh, make plans that, oh, I must go to the grocery store today. Oh, I must help my wife clean the kitchen today. That is not what I mean by daily plans. Daily plans I don't mean by, oh, I must go and preach today. Oh, today I must go and call somebody today. Oh, that is not daily plan. Your daily plans must be in collaboration with your life goal. Your daily plan must be a breaking down of your life goals that has been broken into pieces, that so much that you can touch it today, so much that you know that everything I'm doing today is in line with the goal I want to achieve for the next 1 year, or for the next 5 years, or for the next 10 years. Are you following me?
Yes.
Just like we have done with this one now. That is how you build your life. Yes.
Can you explain to me again about
Speak louder.
Can you explain to me about the backup system I didn't get it for?
The backup plan? Who can explain to her backup plan, please?
It just means that you always, if your target is 1,000, you work like if you're aiming for 1,500 or something more than 1,000, so that even if you don't get all the desired results, you still hit your target and possibly even exceed it.
We always say, put 3 times, 3 backup plans. So if you want 10,000, work for 30,000. You know, if you want one shelter, put 3 shelters. Just 3 backup plans so that you know for sure you will get your desired result eventually. Are you getting me?
Yes.
Now, where are we? The next thing you do, are you getting everything so far?
Yes. Yes.
The next thing we do is make sure you have a daily schedule for your people. What the daily task for everybody? You must have daily task for everybody. The daily task must be, written out for everybody. Everybody must know what they do every day. All right?
Part of the team.
Yes, for the whole team. For yourself and for the whole team. The next one. That is what we call a backup plan. Make sure you have backup plan. Work it out. Work out your backup plans. Guarantee. That's what gives you the guarantee. That even if one fails, the other one will work. Even the other one fails, the other one will work. That is what, and your guarantee plan or backup plan is to make sure that you still attain your 10,000 at the end of the day. You getting it?
Yeah.
Then after that, the next one is what we call control system or monitoring, supervision. Supervision. That's when you supervising all the process all the way through. The whole process. You must supervise the whole process. The next one is good to have, what do you call that in English? Encouragement. Appraisal, right?
Reward.
Appreciation. Is it appreciation?
Reward system.
Rewards plan.
Yeah.
You reward people who meet the goals. Incentives, yeah. Incentives, reward system, and incentives. Yeah, incentives. Bonus plan, yeah. Some people call it bonus plan. Sometimes you might have you might need to have not just reward but punishment, or what do you call it? What's the opposite?
Penalty.
Penalty. Maybe yeah, the red
cards.
The red card, right? Yeah, penalty. So when we are working from Monday to Friday, right?
Yes.
So that is reaching out to the people they get saved here. But what we do here in our church, what we encourage people to do on Saturdays is this: get the most serious of those people and invite them for tea party or for personal meeting with you on Saturday. So Saturday, that's when you meet with them, get to build relationship with them, and then train them. You begin to put training on time every Saturday, so that you make at least 10% of all those people you decide. Do you get it now? So then before Sunday, you meet with them on Saturday to fraternize with them, and then build a rapport with them, and build trust with them. And yes.
That's the people that are being reached.
Yeah, the people that have been rich, invite them from their shelters, from their something, and bring them to a meeting, to a special meeting that you have to make that place a party kind of, they have to be happy, you have to say, then you have to have training as well. Plan of training them. After the tea, after everything, okay, let's have 1 hour of just hearing the word. You must write it down, you must give, so that every day you are giving them different topics, you are training them. So that it's not just fun, but also, so those are going to be the disciples who will be discipled after you.
Wow.
Yes.
Pastor, I've spoken to Pastor Lamb personally, talking with you, so we'll be able to talk to you later. But this matter has just been born on my heart. God intentionally put you in a place to give you this jewel. This is for the body of Christ. And God has given you a platform and given you connections around the world. And what you said yesterday was very strategic. When you said that you will not go unless by your conditions. And don't throw this power to the pigs. Go by your conditions and put this thing down in places where God is going to open doors for you. And the Lord will, there are hungry people out there, Pastor, very, very hungry, that will implement this thing in a way that will make what you're doing look like almost nothing.
Yes,
yes, that will explode very, very widely around the world. And I believe with all of my heart, Pastor, that the Lord will lift that embargo that is on you, so that you'll be able to go and with this message in your heart and lay it out there.
So you are understanding more and more why my trouble.
Wow.
Yes. And why our people are like that. It's not because they are different or they are white or because they are Ukrainians or something. Because of what is put in them. And then I live with them, I control it, I monitor it, I work with it, I perfect it.
I just wanted to say that I read a lot of leadership books and all that, but what you are sharing with us now, I've not seen it anywhere. The way it's broken down is so real, it's so concrete, it's so doable, and I believe that the world needs it. I mean, we need this in America. We need it. And I believe God is going to make a way for this to go around the world.
Amen.
That's also, believe also too, what you're talking about, the system and innovation in the system. You have now a computer where you can be here and we can be in the US and we can see you.
That's right. That's
talking face to face. We got, innovation where we can have a big screen with, it's the personal touch is definitely it's powerful, most powerful.
But also do the electronic.
Until God, have His way. There's other means by which your voice, your message can go forth.
I think you're right.
Yeah. So that this global leadership thing that Professor Vincent was talking about by the Harvard, it's done that way in many nations through technology. And I believe that, that's just to support what he's saying. There's a way this can also go out. We can have, maybe get people, and if God leads you in that direction, in a place for a weekend, and all they watch, you are speaking to them physically, taking this, so it goes beyond
the thing is that I lost interest in that. That is still all like crowd, what I did before. That is all like what I did before. That's what I'm trying to tell you, that I repented of all that yesterday. I'm no more interested. I'm interested only in the one or two, in the little that will be willing to pay the price. I will never give this in any other condition other than what you have. That's why you needed to survive this condition. I will never give this through video or teaching. I don't want it. Because if you don't pay the price, if you don't go through the pain, I only want to give this to people who will go through the pain, who will be willing to kill themselves, to die. Because if you just get it as a teaching, I don't want it. I don't want you to see it as a teaching. I don't want you to see it as a revelation. I just want to give it to people who will be ready to pay. I want to be sure that since you have gone through this, you have more motivation to go to be in solitude with God. But who just see it as a teaching, you don't see it ever. You will be able to go through the same pain at home, at least similar, than just when you just sit down here in your comfort. It's not the same. You know, you are not sleeping today. It's not the same as somebody who just come with tea and a coffee and just listen. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Because your concentration level now is different from your normal concentration level at home. Yeah. Your alert now, the alert of your mind now is totally different. Right now, it's a totally different atmosphere. So when you go back home, even when you go to listen to this thing, you cannot listen and get it the same way until you go alone and create that kind of situation when you are in an environment. That's when you'll be able to get it again like this. If you just go and do it when you are cooking, it's not the same again. So that's why I don't want it to go anywhere. It's not a concern now. I will only have 10 people or 3 people who get it, like Jesus. They will do a better job than all the million I've been doing. I've been doing the million thing. I've been doing the crowd thing. I'm no more interested.
Pastor, please, I didn't want to say this, but I felt the heat all over me. If I'm permitted to say that your trouble and the reason why we're here, it was because of us. Pastor, for 14 years, in 1996, God called us into full-time ministry. My husband was a school teacher in Virginia. He left, we had 3 children, and all of them were there. But the full-time ministry where was, God showed us, he said, if you're going to reach your generation, you must do something different. We had been in the ministry before even I came to work. And my husband took off and went to a camp. Fasted for 9 days, came back. He called off his work. At that time, he was working 4 jobs.
Wow.
He was a school teacher in the day. He was doing security in the bank.
My God.
He was also doing adult GED in Alexander County. He was teaching consumer maths. I barely see him. The kids, he would come in the phone, changing his clothes from job to job. And the Lord told him and said, if you sit here, you will die. Are you going to get up and do what I called you for? So he came back the 9 days. He went away again for 30 days and fasted. And the Lord began to show him the nations. And he brought the nations.
Close that.
He brought the nations to him. And we locked in, start fasting and praying. From 1996, I was pregnant of my last baby. Just bought a new house. I know this system. We've been in the system. And God didn't release us. We were in that house for almost a year. All we did was pray for the nations. He said, you must do something different or you will do the same thing that your teachers did. But we didn't know what it was. So we keep praying for 14 years, Pastor, to cut it off. To cut my story short, because I just had a hit and I couldn't. I didn't want to say it. Let me tell you, the economy that caused your trouble. September 17th, 2008, we left New York City. We were in the car driving to North Carolina. Before we did that, we were crying to God. After we have ministered for days and months in New York City, we said, Lord, how long? How are we going to mobilize the people to the cities of the nation? We have broke the 250 nations. We pray for nations every day. We broke the cities. Each cities, we can tell you the cities. But mobilization, we had the people, but we didn't have this structure for the 14 years, and I'm not going to tell you half of the story. But the day that the Wall Street fell, The day that he fell, September the 17th, 2008, we were on our way driving to North Carolina, we're going our way to Shoring. And we went for 4 months. We prayed to the 2009. Every day, like what you were saying, 10 hours, crying to God, when are we going to be able to mobilize the people? How do we do this? He has given us so many things for this structure. And now, we came back, our trouble started. And we still didn't have the structure. Every time we share the vision to the people, to the leaders we have worked with, people get excited, but there was something missing. There was something missing. That's why we told you, we said, we came back last year, we knew we felt released. But yet, we didn't have this plan on our mind to be able to put it out. God, in His wisdom, He didn't tell us anything. That's why we said 23 years. When our green card came, the first thing He told us, come to Ukraine. And we had no clue about this.
And you've never left the country for 24 years?
We have not left America for 23 years. Since 1987, I entered America. And I've been in a ministry crying to God for the nations. Half of the story I can't tell you.
And this is your first trip outside?
Sir, this is the first trip, and I have no clue why we must come to Ukraine.
My God.
When for years we have had invitations from nations to come. And here, all this structure, what you're teaching us exactly is what we're looking for. We have maps, we have so many things we can email you, how we have divided the nations by cities. Nations by cities and by their names. But what we needed is how to mobilize them, how to put the structure so that we can go into the system.
Yeah.
Sir, this is, if you do not, anytime you feel the pain, maybe that's why God allowed us to be treated what you have gone through last year in a little scale. Knowing what it means to be propaganda in a newspaper and lied to by the officials that know you. We went through it in 1 year. And then after it, He said, come here. I have no clue what God is doing in the kingdom. We do it. But please be strong, because we are going to the nations, and I cannot, and we have it. It's my 14, 15 years of 24 hours, no job. Nobody has paid us. We entered into full time, left everything, left a car with 3 children. Till this day, I'm telling you, no man has said, by this time to this time in each month, I will give you this money for your light. When we fast and pray, after every fast, God will put a more fast on us. After every fast and prayer, we are constant in fast and prayer. Nations were before us. And everything when we eat, God provides like a revenue. And I cannot say half. What I'm saying, you are called and raised up. If you think you have done ministry, maybe this is it. I don't know what God is doing, but if it's not for anybody, it was for us. For 14 years of fasting and prayer, of many hours and days and months of prayer, to get this missing fracture. This is what we're looking for, to be able to do what we need to do.
Maybe that I sensed it just the other day. We were doing an interview with Pastor Bank and somebody. Then it just occurred to me that because they were telling me the same thing, that this thing, the whole body of Christ needs it. I say if it is true, maybe it's not. Satan is not just fighting it because of Ukraine alone. Maybe this fight is actually Satan wants to destroy this so that it will not get to the
That's right.
So it might not even be my fight alone.
No.
It might be a fight for the body.
Yes.
Because
Definitely.
Satan wants us to keep on doing the same mediocre thing the way we've always done.
Some pastor ask you for traveling and that's, but I think we have all the work. We return in our country. We prepare our team, and I think all pastors put on and the paper the same things: families, prisons, suicide, prostitution, kids, alcoholism.
Same problem everywhere.
And from Monday
to Friday.
From Monday to Friday, you give us your anointing shared with your teams.
Yes.
I think when I have a team for kids, only I call your teams for kids. They are so many projects, games, all the programs.
Very good.
And
So
they
I
come.
don't need to come.
And they come.
I
Prepare
don't
a
need
team
to come, but my
because
people who are already
it's
done it.
specifically a team.
Very good. Very good.
Because now we so many generals coming here. You don't can traveling.
Go everywhere. Yeah, I just pray.
And they are
They can do
little Pastor Sunday.
Yeah, they are little. Very good. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the challenge too, is that, and maybe some wouldn't agree with me, but to just simply do a Skype or broadcast of this from you, some countries and some places would not even be able to grasp this. They're waiting for God to do it. It's not even conceivable. But if we...
Because the reason why you are able to grab this brother is because of you being here all these days. You are prepared. It's not just a teaching.
No.
And if we go home and actually deliver the results, then we have a platform to begin to, because people want those results, and we can break the mindset that way.
You know the problem you have? You are looking back. That's one of the things we deal with here. Because the Bible says that the people who are double-minded, they don't receive anything from God. Hesitation. You know, in this world that we are living in, only the violent take it by force. I mean, they take the kingdom. He said Jesus brought it, you have to take by force. You know, in our church, I don't allow people to hesitate, to say, if I'm pointing to you and you're saying, oh, is it that one? That means that is a lapse in life. That is a problem. That's a character failure in life. In the sense that things have passed by you just because you are trying to be nice. But this world system doesn't like nice people. You know, you don't have to be weak. How do I say? You can be godly. Like that's what Jesus was trying to tell us. Be like serpent on one hand and like dove on the other hand. You don't have to be, you know, be so weak to let people ride away. You know, 2 people place. Oh, yeah, 2 people come like this. Yeah. Okay. You're in front. Yeah. So this is an iPad. This is my iPad. And let's say this is gold. Or this is something very precious. iPad is also not bad, but you know, let's say you have one of your own iPad. You have one, okay, but you need to have one, isn't it? You like it. Don't let it fall. So if I need to give this to you, but you are in front, get ready. All of you, 2 of you, get ready. Get ready. You know, you take it. Very good. Now, that is a good example. Even though you are in front, but you are still hesitant. You are not fast enough. So, but in real life, come, I like you. You come. You know what happens in real life? Nobody asks for permission. Like, oh, let me take it. No, nobody asks for permission. What happens in real life is that even if you are the one in front, he pushes, real life pushes you away. Do that. Yeah, exactly. Where were you? Okay, good. You see, he is totally lost. He's not fighting. That is how life is. In life, really, when they push you away just like the way he did, when they just push you away like this, you are lucky. But in real life, they don't. Very good. They knock you down and transform over you and walk on your head to get their goal. That happens every day, especially in America. You live in America. That happens every day. You become the raw material, the asphalt, the cement, the asphalt upon which people. You just become the piece, the mass, the wrong way. You become the wrong way if you are not sharp and smart, know what you want. Even though we are Christians, we carry godly something, but we are strong. Yes. But we know what we want. Yes. We are purposeful. We don't let people push us away. We go for it. Are you following me now? Don't ever you say, oh, maybe you don't be so nice. Go for it. It is mine. It's my turn. Even if I'm pointing at that person and you are here, if he's looking back, jump for it.
That's right.
That is how you attain goals in life. The Christians are trying to be nice, and the whole world has passed us beside. They have left us behind. That is not the way to do it. Jesus said it. He has brought the kingdom. And the kingdom is here already. And he announced it to everybody. It's not a secret. But why is still the benefits of the kingdom are still not available? They are available only to the people who can apply for. The violent. The violent. The violent. How violent are you?